Action figure reboots. Sponsored by Pearson Art.
Hello, and welcome back. Today we're looking at a Mego Joker, released in 1974 as part of the Super Foes lineup, which included the Penguin, the Riddler, and Mr. Mxyzptlk for some reason, which was kind of an odd choice. Out of the four of them, though, I always felt like Joker was the best. In fact, and I'm sure some would argue with me, I think he was the best DC figure that they made. And I say that because I think the design was brilliant in its simplicity. I mean, sure, looking at it today with a jaded eye, you could say it was kind of cheesy that they printed the shirt and tie and vest and pants and just really made a bodysuit with no arms and just threw a jacket over him. But I think that's what makes the character work. But I don't think this look worked for everybody. Like, I don't think it really worked when they did it on the Penguin. The Penguin had a different body, though, so that might have been part of it. But it was the design of the suit itself that I never thought was really that good. But even if you changed that, I still don't think it would have worked. I do understand why they did it though. They were part of the same lineup and you couldn't really make one better than the other. For the record, I actually like this figure so much that I wasn't even going to do a reboot of it. If I was going to change anything, it would probably maybe give him purple hands, maybe different shoes. But just changing the gloves and the shoes wouldn't have been a very exciting video. So I was going to take a pass. I like the suit, but I really like the head sculpt. I always thought it was one of their best, and I still think it's a great Joker head. It doesn't have really exaggerated features like you see on most, but I don't know. As much as I love this head sculpt, I really like to use it for something else. So for this reboot, I'm going to use the suit and change out the head. But which head do I use? There are three versions of Joker that were done in live action. Cesar Romero in the 1966 television show, Jack Nicholson in 1989's Batman, and Heath Ledger in 2008's The Dark Knight. Now, I know there were other actors that played him in live action, but I think these are the three most iconic versions, and they're my three favorites, so these are the choices I'm going to go with. I actually did a mock up on an existing Mego head of the Heath Ledger makeup, and it came out alright, but a little generic. But the suit's all wrong. Jack Nicholson's head could probably work on a Mego body in the suit, but I couldn't find the right head. But Cesar Romero, he's a different story. His head would work well with the body in the suit, and it just so happens there's one available. For those of you who don't know, a few years back, Figures Inc., or CTVT, came out with a series of Batman 1966 figures. And of course, it included a Joker. I always liked this head sculpt. I thought it was the best one that they did out of the whole line. So I picked one up, took the head, modified it a bit, and this is what I came up with. As you can see, I modified it very little. I just repainted the hair. Originally, it had kind of a yellowish green wash. I wanted it to look a little bit more like Mego in just one solid color. It's a little darker than Mego used, but I like it. The one thing about this head that I'm not that crazy about is that they gave him a little mustache like he had in the show. Cesar Romero never shaved his mustache whenever he played the Joker. In close ups, you could still see it. I don't know, it was always kind of a pet peeve of mine, which brings me to another pet peeve I had, and that would be the color of his suit. I never understood why they made it whatever color this is. It's not purple. His suit was always purple since his first appearance. I don't know. It just always bugged me. Kind of like Penguin's hat. That was a little pet peeve of mine as well. But I digress. Okay, we have the head. Now we need the body and the suit. And for that, I picked this up off of eBay. This one was actually perfect because it was missing one of the hands and the shoes, which I would have changed anyway, so it worked out very nicely. This figure is actually in much better shape than the picture would suggest. Other than the broken hand and missing shoes, it was practically mint. Once I cleaned it up, it was almost like it was brand new. So that takes care of the head, the suit, and the body. For the gloves, I'm going to go with the pair that came with the Cesar Romero figure. I like them because they were sculpted to look like real gloves, and I think the color matches up pretty nice, so I'm going to use these. For the shoes, I'm going to go with this pair. I know they're not Mego. I'm not really sure, but I think they came from one of the heroes of the American Revolution figures from the 70s. I'm almost positive that's where they're from. Regardless, they fit well, so I'm going to use them. Okay, we got all the parts. Let's put it together and see what we got. I like this. Cesar Romero finally has his purple suit. Nah, I really like it. I like the way the suit fits. I like the way the gloves look, the shoes, the collar, and the lapels. They sit nicely. And the cuffs match the shirt pretty well. That's not always the case. Sometimes they don't match up at all. I specifically looked for that when I was searching one out. But I'm really happy about the way this head just fit right into this figure. I do think it's the suit that really makes it. I've actually seen Mego Joker figures that had better, more detailed suits, and I don't know, something was kind of off about it. So, I don't know, clothes make the man. I think this really works. This head works with this suit. Unbelievable. It's a shame that Mego couldn't have done something like this back in 1974. That would have been really cool, considering that Batman was on every day after school. I mean, not that the Mego Joker was bad, it wasn't. I've loved it for years. But I don't know, I'm starting to lean towards this one. So I guess that about wraps it up for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember and never forget, think outside the box.